I think they should re-look at it, because I can't see a good reason that people like what we're talking about here will be uprooted and they've never been asked what should be done, and most likely will be taken into European countries.
Let's look at an email we've had in. Thank you very much for sending this one. This is from Yusuf M. He says that instead of healing the wounds of Palestine, the US can still afford to accuse the legitimate government of the people of Palestine as terrorists, and accusing Iran of supporting the groups labeled by Bush and Israel as terrorists, presumably meaning Hamas here. No doubt that Obama inherited the legacy of anti-terror policy and the expertise of planting false evidence to those who will not swallow the US agenda. Throughout the history of the world, Israel has been consistent in terrorizing the Arabs, particularly the Palestinians. Thank you very much for sending that one in, Yusuf. That's much appreciated. Let's turn from the Middle East to Europe, and completely different issue. The Was die Polinnen in Brandenburg wollen? What do the Polish women want in Brandenburg? Why are the Polish women coming to Brandenburg? And it's great that you're here, Dr. Wafik, to answer the question of what they are looking for in Brandenburg. Why are they coming there? Tell us a little bit.
Well, if a young lady feels she needs to have termination of pregnancy, abortion, I think you should feel free to do so in Poland or in any other country. Unfortunately, the rules obviously are very difficult there, that you have to have very strong, and I don't know what I mean by very strong reasons, which probably used to be done in this country 30 or 40 years ago, to make it very difficult for women to have abortions. So they go outside the country.
Right.
It used to happen in Ireland.
Medical tourism, as it's called. I mean, this is something that's happening elsewhere for different reasons, isn't it? Not just for abortions, but for other kinds of procedures. People going from Britain to France, for example, where apparently better treatment might be available to people with heart conditions, people travelling big distances. But are there dangers in that, for example, if you then have issues related to the procedure, then I mean, having it sorted out, it becomes more difficult if you're further away from where it was done.
Yes, you have no comeback, obviously, and you don't know what exactly happened, and you're going a very short visit. You may have some more complications, will be difficult to address. Although abortion or termination of pregnancy procedure is quite straightforward and easy.
Yes. Now the other side of this, Jonathan, is you've got Poles going into Germany for abortions and Germans going to Poland for fertility treatments. The other side of the coin, and essentially it's essentially because it's cheaper on the one hand.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, and that apparently this is very common. Of course, the border has often seen people going across for shopping, but this has brought in a whole new dimension of this medical term.
A new kind of shopping.
Yes, medical tourism. I have to say that I would disagree with the doctor on abortion, and I think that the thing that really made me sad about this story was that the Polish woman who wanted to terminate her, so said she couldn't afford a fourth child, didn't want an unwanted child, which I agree with. But then she said, and I didn't want to give it up for adoption. That would have been even worse.
Yes.
And then I thought, well, why not?
Yes.
Well, it's a big dilemma. You know, if a woman decided to go on to keep or to carry on being pregnant and having a baby, and to give the baby away, probably the trauma is much bigger than just having abortion first 12, 10 weeks or 8 weeks. It's very difficult, really. It's very personal, but at least it's not as taboo as used to be. It's not. It's not
okay.
as bad.
Right. At least. In those countries, in Germany. Let's take a look at The Independent on Sunday. Obama's Chinese Revolution. The US president wants world's two biggest polluters to battle climate change together. China signals cooperation on energy issues ahead of Clinton visits to Beijing, Hillary Clinton's Secretary of State. I hope that, Jonathan, that the two biggest polluters, and together they produce 40% of the carbon dioxide emissions, might actually band together and work on combating global warming. This is a big departure, really, isn't it?
It is, and a very hopeful sign, because of course the big problem of Kyoto, the Kyoto Protocol, was that basically the United States said we're not really prepared to do anything because China won't, and vice versa. So that has been a really important shift, not only in Washington with the arrival of Obama, who is much more a believer in all the doomed stories about climate change than Bush was, but also a big change in Beijing as well. There's been a huge attitude shift there, and a recognition that they do desperately want to stop pollution, but they need help, they need to work together. And of course, if those two big ones work together, then it makes it much easier for the rest of the world to fall into line and to actually get a good result out of Copenhagen, which will be the next great meeting on climate change.
Yes, that's right. I mean, the developing countries had a sort of a get-out clause here. They, because they were developing, they were seen as not having to apply it. But China, of course, is now going to.
China probably is the first polluter in the world now. I mean, it's overtaking the United States. So I think China has to play a role.
Let's take a look at. Sorry, take a quick look at the last story here. Here's an idea to reduce emissions, or at least to produce green energy. Speed bumps. It doesn't stop people driving, of course, but the idea is that speed ramps will generate high-tech ramps generating electricity. But the price tag is £20,000 to £50,000. So who knows whether it would actually generate enough electricity to pay for the price. But there we do have to leave it. If you have anything to say, please do let us know. Please email us at bthpresstv.co.uk. It's bthpresstv.co.uk, or text us, +44 7800 008086. Messages charged to your local operator rates. A big thank you to Jonathan Fryer and Wafik Mustafa for joining me on the show, and thank you for watching. Please join us again at the same time tomorrow for more analysis and critique of the international press. Good night to you.